Got this email from Tyler over at Fife with a good question. Hello, Mike. I hope this email finds you well. I am well, thank you, Tyler. I have a question regarding Sketchulation. I hope you don't mind me asking. By the way, Tyler, I never mind you asking. I love to take questions and help out where I can. Can you please point me in the right direction for what commands to use or assist me with how to create a hollow circular concrete cross-section per the detail below? I understand how to make concrete and rebar properties and know how to create circles, but I'm not sure how to create a hollow section or what command to use to evenly distribute rebar in a circular pattern. Yeah, no problem. Glad to help with this. Here we go. We're going to copy the image so we can have a reference in our Sketchulation document. I'll go into Sketchulation and I'll show the keyboard monitor so you can see what I'm typing. And for the demonstration, I'll go ahead and change the coloring so we have the white background and paste in the image. And I'll scale it so that it is to the proper scale on screen. I'll pick this point here and type R for reference, and then go up to the top of the circle and type in the 192 that I see the dimension. And then I'll throw on a dimension just to make sure that I did it right. And there we go, 16'1". Ooh, I'm off by an inch. That's going to be okay because I'm just going to draw the circles to the proper size anyway. I'll go ahead and change the opacity on that, bring it down a little bit, say to 0.3. This should be good. So it's a little faded. And may change my annotation scale a little bit because this is my page layout, and it might be nice to have it slightly bigger on the page. So let's say I take that down to 60, something like that. Maybe it's too much. Maybe 80. Okay, something like that, just for presentation purposes. And so now I'll draw the outer circle, C for circle, and I'm eyeballing the center here, and then I type D for diameter, 192. Then I can just slide this over to align with my image a little bit better. Okay, that's good. And then I will now make the inner circle. So C again for circle. I snap to the center of the circle and I type in 156. I want to make sure that I'm entering the diameter. So I'll put in D for diameter and then 156. There we go. So these are my the outlines of my concrete. I like to put things on proper layers, so I'll import the standard layers and put these on the layer concrete heavy, and that makes them pop a little bit. Next thing I'll do is go ahead and put in the rebar, and it says that the dimensions are in inches. Clear cover to transverse reinforcement is 1.39 inches. A little unclear exactly where the rebar is. I think it's probably on the inside of the transverse. So basically, looks like the transverse is number 5. So let's just say here that I have clear cover is 1.39 inches plus the bar diameter of a number 5, and then I have to add another half of a bar diameter for the center of my longitudinal bars. So this is what I get: 2.3 inches for the center of my longitudinal reinforcement. So I'll go ahead and put in those bars in that position. RBS is command for the rebar in section. I make sure that the size is set to number 5. And then I will snap, use the base point snap. So I'll type B for base point, snap to the quadrant, and then come over 2.33 inches. And that's where that bar goes. And do the same thing again. Base point, snap to the quadrant, and then go 2.33 inches that way. So I have my first 2 bars. And then I'm going to do a polar array, AR. There's 3 different types of arrays: linear, rectangular, and we want the polar one, ARP. And we're going to enter in a quantity, plus angular extents. So I pick that one. The quantity is 40 according to the drawing there. And we want to omit the last one because we're going to go 360 degrees, and we're going to we would have a duplicate if we didn't omit the last one. So we say yes on that. We snap to the center of the circle, and you see it's laying out as I go around all of the bars. I could play around with this, but I just want to enter in 360. And so there you see I have my bars all laid out. I double check by just selecting them to make sure that I do indeed have 80 bars in there. So that's good. Next thing I would do here is create the materials for these things. Now, maybe this is a good point point in the video to point out that we can do this in two different ways. We can make a hatch using these two circles, and the hatch would maintain the opening in the middle, or we can select this guy and we can click the box that says treat as whole. Either one is fine. Working with the hatch, it has some advantages in that you have one object that maintains all of the information, and in the other case you have two objects, but it keeps it separated out. Really doesn't matter how you want to work with it. For this case, I'll just go ahead and click treat as whole. So I'm not going to assign a material. I'm just going to click that button there. And then I'll go ahead and make my fiber materials, make a standard concrete material, and then make my standard rebar material. And go ahead and assign the rebar material to my bars, enter, and then assign the concrete material to the outer piece here. And now I should be good to go. I can select this thing and I can do a moment curvature analysis on it. So you can see the moment curvature diagram here. I can select points and see what it's doing. I can read the strains in the concrete, or read the strain in the rebar. And similarly, I can do a PM diagram or whatever else we need to do. And lastly, if I wanted to use this in calculations, I would tag the outer entity and go here and just and enter a tag, say XS, and then I can make an expression, and I can get the nominal moment of that cross section here. And optionally, there might be some axial force, or you can look at it. In this case, bending axis angle is not really important because it's circular, but I could have optionally some axial force, compression negative. And that's it. Now I'll just go ahead and demonstrate. If I wanted to change this and show the hatch option, let me just show how that works quickly. I can select well, first I would run the command. We want to do a hatch by boundary. Select the outer shape. Well, first we want to change select our hatch type. So we'd select concrete, select the outer shape, which is my fill, and then push enter, and then it's asking for holes. So then I select the inner shape, and we'll go ahead and delete the boundaries in this case. And so now I have a hatch, and I will go ahead and just make the hatch scale a little bit tighter, so maybe 0.5. I'll go ahead and change the layer back to the concrete heavy layer, and then I will I'll show the boundaries. So it'll actually look the same as what I had before, but now instead of two objects, I have one object. And then I still need to go back and assign the material to that hatch. I do that. And you can see if I do a fiber section analysis, I get the exact same mesh and the same answer that I would have gotten before. And I can also tag the hatch. There's a custom command that I've made. I'll touch on that in a second, to go ahead and tag a property. I call it XS again. And there we go. We get the same answer. I mentioned making a custom command. So that's command here to make custom commands is cuc. And so you see I have a bunch of them, but it's pretty straightforward. Here's the one that I made. I simply push the new button, and then it makes a new command at the bottom, and you can determine what this is going to be, whether it's an alias or it's assigning a text style or a property, layer, or a block. So in the case above, it's actually assigning a property, and I entered in TG, and the property name was tag. Now, of course, it's not going to let me do that because I already have that command. Maybe I put in TG1 for now. And the property name is tag, and I can just leave that blank because I'm not going to set the property value automatically. So that's how that works. And that can prove useful if you're running the same commands over and over again. All right, hope you're well. Talk soon. Bye-bye.